Hey traders, Jason here from Leavitt Brothers. I often get asked what scans I do to find trading ideas. My favorite method of finding trades is to flip through hundreds of charts every week and manually pull out the best charts. Besides finding many good ideas, I also get an intuitive feel for the health of the market, so I do that every week. Besides this, there's only one scan I do, and this is what I'm going to talk about here today. This is a scan I do every week for Leavitt Brothers, where we post 15 to 20 new setups every week. So come check us out. All subscriptions come with a free trial, so it doesn't really hurt to come, check us out. So the scan I do is nothing more than a simple volume scan. With TC2000, I have a scan which identifies stocks that have been up on much more volume in a particular week than the previous handful of weeks. The reason I do this is because usually when a stock is up big on big volume, something beyond a simple technical move is taking place. Something is going on. Institutions are getting involved. They know something. And often these big moves on big volume are just the beginning of a much bigger move. So let's go through a couple examples here. So this is a weekly chart. CAI, you can see big volume here, obviously big candle, big volume here, big candle there. Not easy to buy a stock that's up big on big volume, but you can see these two candles that happened, several weeks apart. Those two candles were just over here. Okay, and then the stock proceeded to go from 10 up to 40. Okay, so those what looked like, up big on big volume, that was just the start of getting the stock moving from this, year-long base. Okay, so you identify a stock with big volume, and it kind of hints that something's going on there. Here is DAIO. Okay, similar situation. We got a steady uptrend, cheap stock, steady uptrend. There's a lot of big volume surges here. You got one here, which kind of breaks the stock out. You got one here, which breaks the stock out of this range. Okay, you got another one within the range. Then you got a couple. Then you got another range here, and a volume surge breaks it out. You got another range here, and then another volume surge breaks it out because there's something going on here. Okay, and it's not easy to buy a stock that's up so much on so much volume. But if I look out several months, that big volume, that last one I showed, was nothing more. It was just this. And that was just the beginning. The stock then more than doubled over the next 6 months. Here's GDS. As you can see here, we got a big volume surge. Whoops. So we got a big volume surge right here, which corresponds to this big move there. Okay. So you might say, this stock consolidated here, broke out on big volume. You might be thinking, there's no way I can chase this stock higher. But that volume surge was nothing more than just this right here. Stock then consolidated, and then it doubled over the next several weeks. Here's OLED. Okay, stock traded flat for several months, had a big volume surge here and kind of broke out, consolidated, and then had back-to-back big volume surges. Not easy to buy this type of a stock after it's up so much on so much volume. But as you can see here, even though the stock went from the high 50s up to 80, that was just the beginning. Okay, those volume surges were just right here, and then the stock consolidated, broke out again, and then boom, up to 190 over the following 6-8 months. Okay, so the big volume was just the beginning. The big volume, all that big volume did is break the stock out of this base here, get momentum building. Something was going on here. Institutions were getting involved. Bigger traders were getting involved. This was no longer just a technical move. It was like something was going on here, and as you can see, it was a multi-month move that went where the stock more than doubled. Here's Overstock. There's been a couple surges here. So we got a big volume surge here, corresponds to that. Didn't go very far. We got another volume surge here, which kind of got momentum moving off the low. And then over here, we got back-to-back volume surges. There was a drop, but these back-to-back volume surges kind of broke the stock out where it closed at a new 52-week high. That volume surge was nothing more than just right there. Okay, so when the chart ends right here, and the top of the chart is here and the bottom of the chart is here, the stock just looks like, man, this thing's just kind of rolling up and down in a range. It's really hard to buy a stock at the top far right corner of the chart, but those big volume surges got the stock moving. It told us that something's going on here. Something beyond just a simple technical move is taking place. And as you can see, the stock went from 20 up into the 60s over the following couple of months. Okay, this is why I do volume surges. This is why I do scans for volume surges. Okay, most trades are just like technical moves. You get a consolidation pattern. You can draw some trend lines, and the stock breaks out, and maybe it does like a measured move up, and you can make 5 or 10 or 20%, and then you're taking profits or trailing with a stop, and maybe you're trying to milk it for a little bit more. But when you get a huge volume surge, it tells you that something different is going on. Okay, it's not just a simple technical breakout. Something actually different is going on, and it often leads to a much, much bigger move lasting a much longer period of time. This is why the only scan I do involves volume surges. Here's QNST. Similar situation. You got a stock which is basically just range bound, up, down, up, down, up, down. It just kind of trades in a range. Rallies get sold, dips get bought. But then you get a series of big up weeks. These are all weekly charts. You get big up weeks on big volume. Hard to buy a stock over here, but those 4 up weeks are right here. Okay, all it did is get the stock broken out of this range, and as you can see, the stock then more than doubled. Okay, so again, you have technical breakouts that happen all the time, where it's like right here, you actually have a big volume surge here, which didn't go very far. But often you have technical breakouts like from here, which move up for a couple weeks. You can make 10 or 15 or 20%. It's all great. But when you have a massive surge in volume like here, okay, oftentimes that's the beginning of something different. Okay, it didn't happen over here. Okay, there's nothing foolproof here. There's no guarantees, but the odds are much more in your favor if you look for a huge volume surge on the weekly chart. Let's look at a few more here. Here's SolarEdge. Okay, big volume surge here. You can draw like trend line here, so it kind of breaks out of this base. Then you have like this, it kind of drifts down on lighter volume, then it breaks out again, drifts sideways on lighter volume, then it breaks out again. So you got 3 different volume surges here that act to get the stock moving. But those 3 volume surges were actually just like right in here. That was just the beginning. Okay, those weren't just technical moves. That like something, when you get these big volume surges, like something's going on here. Business is actually improving. They're actually growing. They're actually selling more stuff. They're actually hiring more employees. Like it's not just a technical move where the stock's going to move 10 or 20%. Like something's going on. And oftentimes you get a hint that something's going on because you get these volume surges. And in this case, SolarEdge more than doubled over the course of the following 6 months. Here's Square, older chart. So you got a base here. Stock breaks out, big volume, trades sideways, get another big volume, big up week. Okay, stock trades up and over, and then you get another breakout here. Very hard to trade. If you're sitting right here thinking, man, I missed all these moves. Well, that third breakout was just right here. Okay, it was actually just the beginning. Those first couple, the first one gets it moving, consolidation. Second one gets it moving again. And then third one gets it moving, consolidation, and then it goes up a whole bunch. And of course, it's up a lot more nowadays. Okay, so oftentimes, you get like a stock that's dead, quiet, sleepy, and then a big volume surge really gets the ball rolling. You get a technical breakout, then get the ball rolling, but it only lasts a couple weeks. But you get like these big volume surges that tells you something's going on. Weight Watchers. Speed it up a little bit. We got two big up weeks, and you got big volume surge here, which kind of breaks it out there. Consolidation, big volume surge, a little bit of a resting period, big volume surge. Okay, it's hard to buy a stock that does that, but those volume surges, here, here only get the ball moving. They took place over the course of several months, and then the stock doubled after that. Okay, it's often a sign that something's going on in the company when there's a big volume surge. Okay, last one, Zagg, sideways pattern, not much going on, kind of a mess, but big volume surge here, gets it off the low, big volume surge here, breaks it out from like this little pattern here. Then the stock consolidates here between trend lines, and then you get another volume surge here. And these are all weekly charts, okay? So we're not zooming in and looking at something really too close. We got several different volume surges that get this ball rolling. As you can see here, stocks in the mid 9s, and then that third one, as you can see, just breaks out of this range here, and then boom, over the course of the next 3-4 months, the stock more than doubles. All right. So most of the stocks you trade will be technical in nature, meaning pressure will build between support and resistance. When a stock pops, the unleashed energy will propel it higher for a few weeks or months. But to recognize a stock which is less of a short-term technical move and more of a truly fantastic company which is growing, often big moves start with big, a big move on big volume. Okay. But the price move only looks big at the time. You have a stock that goes from like 6 to 8, and it's like it looks really big. But months later, when the stock's up at 25, that moved from 6 to 8 is actually pretty small. Okay, so this is the one scan that I do at Leavitt Brothers. And again, we profile 15 new trading setups every week. So you should come check us out. All new subscriptions come with a free trial, so it doesn't hurt to come try us out. All right, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.